Ever feel like AI is about to like totally take over our lives?
Yeah.
But not in like a Terminator kind of way.
Right, not the robot overlords.
Yeah, exactly. More like it's going to be making us gourmet meals while we're stuck in traffic.
Uh-huh, yeah. That's exactly the kind of stuff we're diving into today.
We're talking about a future where your morning commute involves like a 5-star dining experience, all thanks to AI.
It's wild. This conversation we're diving into, it's like a peek into a world where your car is also your personal chef.
Okay, so get this. You're cruising down the highway, right?
Mm.
But you're not in just any car. You're in a Cybertruck.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
But it's not just a truck anymore. It's a mobile kitchen and bathroom combo.
Whoa, 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 hold on. A kitchen and a bathroom?
Yeah, because who has time for like breaks and stuff, right? Got to maximize that commute time.
Wow. That's, efficient, I guess. I don't even know where to start with that one. But it's interesting how this idea, it kind of highlights this whole trend of like blurring the lines between work and personal life.
Totally. Like, imagine being stuck in traffic, but instead of road rage, you're like, oh, sweet, time to catch up on emails while my AI sous chef whips up some gourmet ramen.
I don't know about you, but the thought of 100 Cybertrucks all simmering onions in perfect unison on the highway is both fascinating and terrifying.
Yeah. It's like sensory overload.
Hmm.
Okay, speaking of AI and its potential impact, let's shift gears a bit to something we're all familiar with. AI assistants like ChatGPT.
Yeah, everyone's got their AI buddy these days.
Right. But this conversation, it takes things up a notch. Like, imagine having AI as your personal gaming guide.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like, it's not even about cheating, really. It's more about, like, getting real-time strategy tips or understanding the historical context of the game you're playing.
It'd be like having an encyclopedia, a history professor, and a team of expert gamers all rolled into one right there in your ear while you play.
Exactly. It could totally change the way we learn and experience games.
Totally agree. And it makes you wonder, like, what about using AI for, actual learning?
They talk about that too, like AI tutors that could personalize your education.
Imagine that, a world where every student has access to a tutor who knows exactly how they learn best, available any time of day or night.
It'd be revolutionary, especially for students who, maybe don't have the best teachers or resources right now. But I do wonder, do you think we'd lose something in the process?
Like,
well, like the social aspect of school, the debates, the group projects, even just goofing off with your friends.
That's a really good point. It's like, how do we make sure we don't lose sight of those essential human connections as AI becomes more integrated into our lives?
Right. Because as amazing as all this technology is, it can't replace the feeling of connecting with another human being.
Absolutely not. And that actually leads perfectly into the next part of the conversation. It's kind of scary how AI could change, like, everything, our jobs, our schools, even our relationships.
That's a lot to wrap your head around.
Tell me about it. But before we spiral into an existential crisis, they really brought up a really interesting point about AI and the job market.
Okay, I'm listening.
So remember all those dystopian movies where robots take over everyone's jobs? They're saying it's not going to be like that.
Phew. That's a relief.
Right. But seriously, if we look back at history, like, every time there's been a major technological shift, it's actually created more jobs than it's destroyed.
Yeah, that's true. Think about the internet, for example. It completely changed the game, but it also created a ton of new industries and opportunities.
Exactly. So instead of freaking out about AI coming for our jobs, maybe we should be thinking about how we can adapt and evolve alongside it.
Like learning new skills, or maybe even inventing entirely new jobs that we can't even imagine right now.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder, and using AI as a tool to boost our own productivity and creativity.
So instead of robots stealing our jobs, we'll have robot assistants making our jobs easier and more efficient.
Exactly. Imagine having an AI that handles all your scheduling, your emails, your expense reports, all that tedious stuff that sucks up our time and energy.
Sign me up. That sounds amazing. But what about those bigger questions, about control and ethics?
Right. Like, just because we can do something with AI doesn't necessarily mean we should.
Exactly. Like, who gets to decide how this technology is used? And how do we make sure it's not abused or used for harmful purposes?
It's like we need to establish some ground rules, some ethical guidelines, before we go too far down this road.
Yeah, because once the genie's out of the bottle, it's not like we can just stuff it back in.
Exactly. And this isn't just a conversation for tech companies or governments to have. This is something we all need to be thinking about, like right now.
Because at the end of the day, AI is a tool. And like any tool, It could be used for good or for evil. It's up to us to make sure we're steering it in the right direction.
100%. We need to be proactive, not reactive. And part of that is having open and honest conversations about the potential benefits and risks of AI, which is exactly what they're doing in this conversation.
And it's not just about the practical stuff either, like jobs and education. They also delve into some pretty deep philosophical questions about what it means to be human in an age of AI.
Oh, yeah, that's the really juicy stuff.
Like, if a machine can write a symphony or paint a masterpiece, does that diminish human creativity?
Right.
Or does it redefine it in some way?
Right. And what about things like love and relationships? Could you fall in love with an AI? Should you?
It's like Black Mirror in real life.
Yeah, totally. But even though some of these questions might seem like science fiction now, they're going to start becoming more and more relevant as AI becomes more sophisticated.
Oh, wild to think about. But they also talk about some really positive potential applications of AI, too, like in the realm of healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. This is one area where AI has the potential to truly revolutionize things for the better.
Like, imagine AI-powered diagnostic tools that can detect diseases earlier and more accurately than ever before.
Or personalized treatment plans tailored to your unique genetic makeup and lifestyle.
It could be life-changing. But of course, there are always those ethical considerations to keep in mind, like how do we ensure that everyone has equal access to these advancements, regardless of their income or social status?
That's the million-dollar question, right? We need to make sure that AI is used to bridge the gap between the haves and have-nots, not widen it even further.
And that's just one example of the many ethical dilemmas we're going to have to grapple with as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
It's a lot to think about, but it's also incredibly exciting. Because we're living through a time of unprecedented technological change, and the possibilities really are endless.
It really makes you think, AI popping up everywhere, like it's in our phones, our homes. Pretty soon it'll be writing our love letters for us.
Aha! AI Cupid. Can you imagine? Swipe right on this algorithm for a match made in the cloud.
But seriously, they actually touch on that. Like, what happens when AI starts to influence our relationships?
It's interesting. Imagine an AI relationship therapist, right? Like you're having a fight with your partner and you're like, hold on, let me run this through my AI and see what it suggests.
That's both incredibly helpful and kind of terrifying at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
Are we going to outsource our emotional intelligence to algorithms?
Right. Are we going to forget how to communicate and connect on a human level? It's a valid concern.
It is. Because as much as AI can analyze data and predict behavior, it can't replicate that spark. The intangible thing that makes human connection so special.
Exactly. And this isn't even just about romantic relationships. Think about AI's impact on friendships, family dynamics, and even how we interact with strangers.
Oh, totally. Like what happens when you can't tell if you're talking to a real person online or just a really convincing AI chatbot?
Whoa. Mind blown. And that's what makes this conversation so important, right? It's forcing us to confront these questions head on before it's too late.
Before we're all just living in our own little AI-curated bubbles, completely disconnected from actual human interaction.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's not like there's a simple answer, a right or wrong way to navigate all of this. It's uncharted territory, and we're all figuring it out as we go.
It's a bit overwhelming, but it's also exciting, Like we're on the cusp of something huge, and the decisions we make now are going to shape the future in ways we can't even imagine.
100%. And that's why I love this conversation. It's not just doom and gloom or blindly optimistic. It's about acknowledging the complexities, the potential benefits, and the potential pitfalls of AI, and having those tough conversations.
Exactly. Because the future of AI isn't something that's going to just happen to us. It's something we're all creating together, whether we realize it or not.
So the takeaway, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged in the conversation.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, folks, that's a wrap on this deep dive into the wild world of AI. Until next time.
Catch you later.